I'm recording. I just want to make sure that this is what you guys are also seeing. Yep. Okay. Okay, so this is a blank document in Word, and I'm going to just talk about Word in an introductory way tonight. Also do a little bit of the first class participation, and then finish it on Thursday evening when we have our second class then for the week. Actually, our third, but because of tomorrow, we are doing that. That would be our second class for the week. So when we think about Word, I'm sure you all know everything there is to know, or most of the things you need to know. But Word, you can actually do so much with Word. You can actually do everything with Word that you are doing with Excel. You can basically do everything with Word that you already do in Access. Some of the things that you do in PowerPoint, you can also do in Word. So Word is one of those documents that I really think, what's happening to my throat? So I think Word is one of those things that we really do need in our lives. And I don't see how we can live without it. Nowadays, it's just so important. So what we're going to do for class participation 1 is we are just going to create a flyer or an advertisement. Now that is basically the most basic thing you can do in Word, but we are going to try and we're going to obviously do this exactly the way they want us to do it, but here and there we might see something interesting that we will just explore, and when that opportunity arises, we will do that. Okay, so when you do class participation 1, and if you want to start tonight, just keep in mind that this is only part 1 of 2. So we will finish this on Thursday evening. Okay, so we are going to create a flyer that is going to be distributed, and the flyer is going to be for an adventure or something like a hike or a travel into the mountains or something like that. Now, when you think about a flyer, and I'm sure at college you will also see this, and I know at university we used to see it a lot. People will put up flyers if there is a dog that is missing or a cat that is missing. Maybe you want to sell some textbooks. Maybe you want to sell, or you're looking for a flatmate. Maybe something is lost. Who knows? But a flyer is very useful. These days, flyers are actually very small. Printed media is actually going out of fashion, but still will survive, I think, for much longer because older people definitely want the paper still. And I guess there is something nice about still seeing printed media, even though we are seeing a lot less of it. And we used to see so many magazines and stuff in the store, and now we hardly see any. Perhaps where you guys live, there's still a lot of magazines on the shelves in the shops, but here where I live, almost nothing. I think it's just because there is uh, no one is reading them anymore, I guess, over here. But anyway, so printed media still has a place, and this specific flyer is going to be obviously on an A4 page. And when we print a flyer, we usually print it in high color so that it catches the eye. But obviously, some students don't have a color printer, so most of the ads you see at university is actually black and white. And then I'm sure you've also seen that other ad where we can actually tear off a number. For example, if you are a tutor and you are offering tutoring lessons, then you can create yourself a little flyer, and at the bottom you will have little bits of paper that has a number on, and that you can tear off, and someone can phone you. I still see that a lot everywhere, actually, even here in my small town. So that is probably never going to go out of fashion either. Okay, so let's start our flyer or our advertisement. Now, I want to stress this. The first thing that you need to do is nothing. Okay. Now, usually when I start a document, I first change all the settings because I have my specific settings that I usually use for my documents. In South Africa, we usually use Times New Roman size 12, but you will notice that the default font is Calibri 11, which is an American thing, but of course we use an American textbook, so that's why. And we usually change things up a little bit in South Africa. I think it's because A lot of us, and me included, we learned how to do documents with typing machines. And when we started out with typing machines, um, it's just the way we did it. Now we are a bit stuck in those ways, I guess. So I am not changing anything today, so you guys also don't change anything. Sometimes we will change things, but that is not going to be okay. So we're going to start our little flyer with the word adventure with an exclamation mark. Now, adventure is just a word, and at this moment, you can't imagine this being part of a flyer. It's not drawing any attention or anything like that, but that doesn't matter because we are going to still change it and make it look quite nice. Okay, so as you can see, my cursor is blinking over here. The blinking cursor indicates where you are going to start typing. So if I were to type, it would start there. Okay, so that is what I've typed, and now I'm going to press enter, and it's going to go to the next line. You would also notice that my line spacing is what at the moment? Is 8 after, which means that every time I press enter, it's going to leave 8 point space. Okay, they did not instruct us to change that, so I'm not changing it yet. I'm just showing you that if I press enter, you will see it actually looks like I'm having two lines open, but I'm not having to, because if I press backspace and I go back to adventure and I press enter just once, you will see that this is in fact one enter or one line, even though it is a big line. Okay. Alright, so now we want to activate the show height button, and when you go to your toolbar, you will see there's a button here. The only way I can describe this button is like a pillar. It looks like a Roman pillar in the Colosseum or something like that. I'm sure it stands for some or other sign in the world. I don't know. But anyway, that's what I call it. So when you click on it, you will see this is the show height button, and it shows all your formatting. It shows everything that you do in Word. Now, this formatting button is quite irritating, and usually we don't leave it on because it looks like there's stuff on the screen and there isn't. Okay. So it indicates every time you press a enter with a sign like this, and when you make a space, it makes a dot. Okay, but you will see as we go along. A tab, for example, is an arrow. So when you print it, it does not print these things. It is just to show you what formatting is happening on your page. It does not do anything other than that. Okay, so that show height button shows us, let's say for example, I mark your test or I mark homework or whatever, I would probably switch on the show height button to see how many times you pressed enter. Now if you look here, it looks like I pressed enter twice, but I didn't because my cursor is still blinking here. If I press enter again, now you would say I pressed enter twice, and here is my my cursor is blinking over here. So that is only pressing enter once. Okay. So that is the show height button. Like I said, it's a bit annoying, but it's got its uses. We're gonna press enter again, and the reason why we press enter again is because we need this blank line. We need that line because that is where we are going to insert the image. So it would be very easy for us to later on just click here with our mouse and insert the image exactly here where we're leaving a line open. Of course, the image is not going to be this big. It's going to be a nice sized image, but we need to reserve a little space for it, or just a place where we can click to insert that image. All right. Okay. Here at the bottom, just showing you that you can view things differently. In read mode, you can also do it in print layout mode, and you can do it in web layout mode. You can also go here to the top and you can view stuff differently. For example, if you say one page, you can see how everything is going or looking on one page. You can see the whole page on the screen. Then you can say 100%, that is what we are using. So you can see basically real size, because you don't, if we say 100%, this is the way it's going to print. And of course, multiple pages just means that if I had a second page or a third page, the first one would display here, the second one here, the third one here. And of course, if you say page width, it's just going to enlarge it a little bit. Okay. I think in our notes it's saying we should choose page width, but I'm just going to keep to 100%, so I'm sure you'll be fine with that. All right. Okay, so now we are going to type a sentence. It's our first sentence and it's part of the body. Okay, I will try to type fast. Scenic trails with breathtaking views. Oh, I made a spelling mistake. Never mind. I'm going to get there just now. Okay, so let's quickly look at what we just typed. You will see in between every word there's a little dot. Okay, one dot means one space. If you see two dots, it means there are two spaces. But if you see only one dot, it means only one space. Okay, now you will see my word is underlined in red. That means I made a spelling mistake. Later on, we're going to make one on purpose, but for now, let's fix this. How do you fix this? You can just right click on any word that is red, and then you will choose the one that you want. We are just going to choose this one, and we are ready. Okay, so we have now typed our first sentence or our opening sentence, and we're going to press enter. Okay, our next line is going to be self-guided tours. Wants to join my meeting. Just let me admit that person quickly. Okay, I'm back. I'm coming back. Okay, self-guided tours. We are just quickly writing that. Now they want us to make a spelling mistake on purpose. T-U-O-R-S space tours. Tours. Okay, so this obviously is supposed to be tours, but they want us to check how to correct the spelling mistake, and of course we just did that up there. So you just click on it, right click, and then you will say choose the right one, and we will choose tours. Okay. Okay, let's continue. Self-guided tours available, and then press enter. Okay, then we're going to type a few lines. First one, open March through October. Press enter. All vehicles and gear provided. And then we're going to type a signature line. Okay, what is a signature line? A signature line is basically, it's not a line where you sign. No, it's just the last line. Because when you think about it, a letter, when you put your signature on a letter, it is at the end of the letter. So when you hear the word signature line, it doesn't mean it's where you sign. It just means the last line. So we are going to go and type our last line now. And that is going to be to book your adventure, comma, call. Woo, I had a fright whoever speaker is on. If you have a question, you need to stop talk. You can just talk because I cannot see the screen at the moment, just my own screen. No one is talking, so I'm hoping that everything is okay. Alright, so there we have it. If I click on my show hide button again, you will notice that all those lines and little things disappear. And this is the way I like it. This is the way I want to see it. But for now, let's just leave this on. Okay, so now we are going to edit our title, which is adventure. So how do you select a single word? You just double click in a word. How do you select a sentence? You triple click in the sentence like this. And by the way, if you hold your mouse on the side and it turns white, you can select a whole line. Okay, so you can see my mouse is a white arrow now. So if I do that, I can actually select a line with just a line. Okay, but if you want to select a paragraph, you will triple click. Okay, so first of all, we are going to center this adventure. So you don't need to select the whole word if you want to center it. You can just click anywhere in it and then you will say center and it will center it. We're also going to center the signature line so long. So once again, I don't have to select the whole one, but I'm going to show you that you can. So you can select your whole line and then you can click on center. You could also just have clicked here in the beginning and you could have said center. Okay. So now we are going to change the font size of our text. So the first one that we're going to change is the word adventure. So we are selecting the word adventure, okay, and then we're going to font size and we are going to choose 72. I just want to show you guys, you can actually choose or write any size in this block that you like. It goes only up to 72, but you can actually make it 100. Okay, so you can also make it 150. You can also make it 65, whatever. But you can just enter manually the size as well. You don't have to choose a size. But now they want us to choose a size. They want us to choose 72. So we will choose 72. Now while that is selected, we also are going to change our font as well. And they want us to change the font to Berlin Sans. Now B is quite up in the alphabet, but you don't have to search for it. You can just type Berlin. And you don't even have to type the whole world. You don't have to type the whole word. You can just type BER and this one will appear. And if it's the right one that you are looking for, we are looking for Berlin Sans FB Demi. Okay, I'm not sure what stands behind Berlin Sans FB Demi. There we go. So just make sure if there's more than, look here. There's a Berlin Sans FB and there's a Berlin Sans FB Demi. So make sure you choose Demi and don't just stop there at Berlin Sans FB. Okay. So we are looking for the one that says Demi and then we just select it. Now with our word selected, the days are over where if you realize you should have typed something in capital letters to go and delete everything and type it in capital letters. You don't have to do that anymore. So let's say, for example, I realized that I would have liked this to be capital letters. Then you can just select it and you can go here to change case and choose uppercase. And that would also make it uppercase. I see I didn't add an exclamation sign here, so I'm just going to add it there quickly. All right. Now the next thing is we're going to add a text effect, and I just want to show you where you can find that. There's a little button over here that looks like an A that has a glowworm around it. This is the text effects and typography button, and we use this if you want to add some kind of effect to text. Okay, so we are going to click on it and we are going to select full white outline accent 1, la 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 la, all those things. Okay, that is the one that we are looking for. And the exact name is always on the screen tip. So just make sure that the screen tip, the name on the screen tip is the same as the one on the instructions. Otherwise you're going to choose the wrong one. Okay, I don't think I had my word selected. Let me just select it again. There we go. Okay, we are choosing to apply a text effect, and now we are going to also shade that paragraph. It's called a paragraph because it's standing on its own. It isn't really a paragraph. I mean, yeah, I guess if you want to define a paragraph, it does fit the definition. But I would have said the title. For me, it would have been a title. But they are going to say a paragraph. So this is the title. Like, you can actually call it a title paragraph if you like as well. Okay, so we are going to shade it. And to shade it, we are using this bucket or the paint bucket. And when you put your mouse on it, you will see that it is called the shading button as well. So we are going to shade it green accent 6. So we are here in green accent 6, darker 25, and that is the right one. And then we just select it to choose it. Okay, so we have now entered a couple of things. But we are now going to change the font size of this flyer, and we are going to change the font size to 24. Now we are actually going to change everything. Okay, so we are selecting from explore all the way down. Oh, not the, it doesn't look like it's the signature, so it's only going to be up until there. not the signature line. And then we're going to change the font to 24. Okay. Do they want us to choose a specific font? Doesn't look like it at the moment. But what they're all saying is they want us to add a couple of bullets. So we're going to select these 3 lines and we are going to insert bullets next to them. So we are going to go over here and we're going to choose the bullet list arrow, and the ones they want us to choose, the one is just a regular bullet that is a dot, a black dot. So we are going to choose that, and now it will insert it here. Okay, now what happens when you insert the bullets? Everything moves a little bit to the side. Okay, and as you can see here, since show height is on, there's going to be a tiny little arrow over here to show that it's basically a tab next to it. Now, they didn't show us, or they didn't say that we should move this, but I want to show you how you do that, because for me, it doesn't look professional if the bullets are somewhere in the middle of the page. Okay, I know it's not the middle of the page technically, but I would have liked the bullets to be nice in a line. Okay, so what you do is you will see on your ruler, and if you don't know how to activate the ruler, you just click on view and then you click on ruler to make sure that your ruler appears. Okay, so once your ruler is here, you will see that this is where your bullets are, and if you click on that little tab, upside down triangle, you will see that is the one for the bullets. And if you click on this little triangle that is pointing up, this is the one for the text. Now I would have done this. I would have just clicked on this little one over here, and I would have moved those bullets to be in line with my text. Guy, I'm not saying you should do it, and the book certainly doesn't tell us to do it, but I'm going to show you how to do it. So once again, you just make sure that your text is selected. Look what's going to happen if it's not. If it's not, you're going to be moving one at a time. You also don't want to do that. That is a waste. So if you want to move them all together, you will just select them all, go to your triangle, and now you will move them where you want them. You can also move the text either to be further away or to be closer, and then you just let go. So if I now click on my show height button again, you will see that our little flyer is taking shape, and if I view it on one page, you will see that everything is fitting nicely on our page. Okay, the last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to insert our picture. We are not done then, but I want to stop there. So we are going to insert our picture. So I'm just viewing it as one page so that you can see how it looks. We're still going to edit our signature line because the way it's now is not professional. So I'm just going to make it 100% again. Now remember this blank line that we left open in the beginning because we pressed enter an extra time. This is where we will now insert our image, and that image can be found. I'm just going to use insert. I already gave you guys this picture, so you guys can just go ahead and find the picture in your email, and that picture is also on my Google Classroom. And there we have it, and there it is. I'm going to stop here for tonight. Who has any questions? Just stop my recording.